Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and since it's no longer my first video, I can now say welcome back from here on out. So today I'll share something that was demonstrated in the last one but kind of left out in the detailed explanations, and that is how to make a button in Notion to track your progress towards your resolutions and your goals. Notion is a very useful and aesthetic tool that you can use to help manage the things in your life. And what's best is that it works on all platforms, whether it's a Mac, Windows, or even just on a web browser. And you can access it on your phones and pads as well, so whatever we build today, you can use it at your convenience to track whatever progress that you want to track at any rate. Let's imagine this. You're using Notion to track your fitness goals, and you set up a workout completed button. Each time you finish a workout, you just click this button, which automatically logs the date and type of exercise into a linked database. This visual tracking method not only keeps your progress neatly organized, but also gives you a satisfying sense of accomplishment with every single click. Over time, this button becomes a motivational tool as you watch your consistency grow and your fitness database expand. It turns the mundane task of tracking into an interactive and rewarding part of your fitness journey. Right, so what exactly is a database? And how does that help build our button? Think of a database like a smart spreadsheet. It has properties which are like columns that describe your data. Then there are rows. Each row is a different item, but they all share the same properties, keeping everything neat and uniform. This setup is super handy when you got tons of data. Now, each property in a database is unique to that database. So even if two databases have a property with the same name, they're not the same. It's like having two friends named Alex in different circles. Same name, but definitely different people. But why use databases to track progress? Well, when we're doing something repeatedly, like a daily task, tracking means counting each time we do it. So we'll need a system that is both stable and dynamic. One part stays the same, that's our total goal, and another part changes each time we hit a milestone, through a button click, that is. So in our database, we'll set up our properties to do just this. One property will keep track of the total number of times we want to do something. Another will count how many times we've actually done it. Simple, right? So let's jump right in and see how this works in action. All right, so here we are. Same process as before. Let's start by creating an empty page. So we'll call this page tracker buttons. And as usual, we'll add our favorite emoji. And we'll have a click representing someone clicking a button on the phone. So in the actual contents, we'll create 4 parts. The first one is called description. Have buttons. An overview part where we handle the visualization process. And then finally, we'll want to do a toggle heading 1. So being able to toggle means we can hide things, and as the data grow, as we aggregate our reps, the database can grow pretty huge. So that is a little bit messy to view. So with toggle, we can basically hide these databases and maintain this page as a simplistic and aesthetic view. So let's call these tracker or tracking databases. Great. So for the description part, let's just put 2 databases that tracks my New Year's resolutions in 2024. And for the buttons, we'll create 2 empty buttons first. So I want to track my morning runs. And also another button for cold showers. Great. And notice that once we hover over these buttons for now, it says this button has no actions, and that's okay because we don't have any data to work with right now. And same goes with the overview part. We'll need to first build our databases before we can work on the actual functionality of the buttons and then the overview. So in this tracking databases section, we'll create 2 databases. The first one, we'll call it items. And then we'll use both name and tags properties that comes with the database by default, and we'll also create a number column, a number property that we'll call counter. So the point of this counter property is that to make all the entries under this
property as the number 1, so that when we roll them up later in database number 2, we can sum them up, and that's the sort of the progress count for us. And we'll also add a created time. Actually, we don't need the tags property in this, so we'll just drop that. Looks good. So let's create the database number 2. We'll call this roll up. We use the separate database to do the rolling up of that data. And by rolling up, I mean we will do the sum of things in the counter column in that previous database. So let's create the columns and then the properties of database number 2 first. We'll drop the tags, create a relation property to link the link this database with the first one that we created. We'll add relations. Let's just call it items relation. And then a number property to count the total, and this will remain unaffected by any button clicks and any data changes. And so let's call it total. And also we want to create a roll up type of property to sum the counter property properly. Let's call this completed reps. So relation will be this one, and then we'll pick the counter property from the first database, and then in terms of the calculation, we'll do the sum. Finally, a formula property to show the progress percentages. That would be the completed reps over the total. And then we can edit this property to have it show the percent in a progress bar. And now we'll add, in the names property in the database number 2, we'll add 2 rows that represent the respective activities that we're going to track. So we'll do morning run, and we'll do cold shower. In terms of the total, we'll need, for visualization purposes, we want to see the progress bar actually grow for a bit. So let's just do 10 morning runs and 20 cold showers. And now in this overview part, we want to create a view. And notice that a view is different from a database. A view is a transformed view, sort of, for a database, for an existing database. So we're trying to visualize the database number 2 in a separate way. So let's create a gallery view for rollup. And we'll reconfigure the layout to gallery, and we'll do some other configurations. Okay. And also we'll pick the number of properties we'll be able to show here. Let's visualize the completed reps and formula. That looks good. And then finally, let's go back to the buttons part and program our buttons properly. So this is the most important part. So for the morning run, we'll first add a step in this button. So let's add a page to the first database, and we'll just call it morning run. And also remember, we need the counter to be exactly 1. And after that, we'll add another step, which is edit pages in the second database, rollups. And for that, we'll sort of filter it first. So remember when we set up the second database here, we had this morning run because we want the numbers to aggregate in this cell alone, right? So we are going to filter, the name is exactly morning run. And then we will edit this relation property. We'll pick add and new page added. And then for the cold shower, we'll do the same thing. Remember to set the counter to 1. We'll edit the pages in database number 2. Remember to filter it to be exactly cold shower. Pick add, new page added. So let's see if it works now. So by clicking the buttons once, we should have a row created right here, and then the number in the completed reps property in the rollup database to be increased by 1, because it's basically counting the sum, doing the sum on this counter property. So when we click morning run, great, this is so cool. So we can, after clicking morning run, we can see that the row is being created in this items database, and reps is showing up as 1 in this rollup database. Well, if we click cold shower, it works too. So that's basically it, and as usual, I will provide this as a template so you can copy it to your Notion and program it differently, or even adding some new ones.
Alright, and there you have it. we just created a smart interactive button in Notion that is going to revolutionize the way we track and achieve our New Year's resolutions. And remember, the key to success lies in these small, consistent steps that we take every single day. This button isn't just a tool, it is your daily nudge towards realizing those big dreams. So hit that button, stay on track, and let's make this year the one where we turn our resolutions into reality. And also don't forget to click these like, share, and subscribe buttons, as I will continue to post more tips on making the most out of Notion. Remember, it's gonna get better. So keep pushing these boundaries, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.